When you are in the middle of a story, it isn't a story at all, but only a confusion. A dark roaring, a blindness, a wreckage of shattered glass and splintered wood. Like a house in a whirlwind, or else a boat crushed by the icebergs or swept over the rapids, and all aboard powerless to stop it. It's only afterwards that it becomes anything like a story at all, when you are telling it, to yourself or to someone else. Margaret Atwood. How do we define ourselves as humans? Biologically, we don't stand out. Other species can run faster, or swim farther, or possess the ability to fly. We are simple, bipedal creatures. We think of ourselves as evolved, sophisticated, greater than, but we don't differ that much from our cousins in the animal kingdom. A study, including researchers from the University of Washington, found that we share 96% of our DNA with chimps. We claim that despite this, we have risen above, invented and thought our way out of normality. We use tools, build things, think in new ways. But crows and great apes make and use tools, and whales have speech patterns as complicated as our own. Ruling out this, we turn, then, to our ability to think, our ability to create and share fictions and abstract thoughts, our ability to tell stories. Think back to all the times you have heard a story, a fiction, a constructed narrative for your benefit or to convey an idea. You can probably name several in the past week. Throughout history, cultures have told stories, holding them central to their belief system or views. We use stories to convey our history, or to examine ourselves from a new perspective, or simply for entertainment. In the poem A Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, he shows a story representing the importance of decisions. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. This event did not happen. It is figurative and abstract, and yet we interpret it. We may picture a forest as two paths, a literal interpretation, or we may see it as a metaphor for a decision in his life, and perhaps relating it to our own. Each of us interprets it differently, building meaning from our personal experiences and adding them to the poem. We construct stories as a way to interpret the past. In the book, In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez, Didi, after experiencing traumatic events in the past, says, "I tell myself, Didi, in your memory it is such and such a day, and I start over, playing the happy moment in my head." By doing this, Didi constructs a view of the past in the way she needs to see it. In this case, it takes the form of a positive story, a falsehood to preserve her sanity. In this way, we can shape our world to our needs. We change our view of the past to fit the image we want it to form. In the article Growth Fetishism, we learn about the deification of economic growth in our modern society. Economic growth will deliver a life of ever-increasing leisure, more free services, devices to relieve the drudgery of household work, opportunities for personal enrichment, exciting space travel, and cures for the diseases of humankind. As a society, we have decided that expanding our economic hold on the world will accomplish all this. We select facts from the past to build our case for this, or a story for why we value this. In Man on Wire, Felipe tightrope walks the Twin Towers. Life should be lived on the edge of life. You have to exercise rebellion, to refuse to tape yourself to rules, to refuse your own success, to refuse to repeat yourself, to see every day, every year, every idea as a true challenge. And then, you are going to live your life on a tightrope. For Felipe, life is something to push to its limits. He uses tightrope walking, his passion, to break what he sees as the confines of life. His performance, his spectacle, serves as an inspiration, a narrative of what one can do in life. In this way, he is, in fact, telling a story, and shows others what life can be for them, sparking their imagination and creativity. As humans, we use narratives and stories to build the world around us, piecing together the events we experience into something that makes sense. We create fictions, exploring our ideas in new ways that we ourselves could never experience. We share these with others, communicating our ideas or motivations, or simply the creativity that we have. We puzzle over and enjoy this exchange, critiquing others' ideas and assigning our own metaphors to their works. We make stories our own, blending ourselves into the threads of the human narrative.